Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I created my everyday look. This is the look I like to wear when I don't want to wear foundation, but I also want to have my face a little bit put together. So I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I have accumulated along the way and show you my no foundation makeup routine. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so in the summertime, I don't like to wear a lot of foundation. I don't like to feel anything really heavy on my skin because it's hot outside. I don't want my foundation running. I don't want to feel heavy. I don't want anything like that. But I still always like to prep my skin, even though I'm not going to be using any foundation. And I'm going to be using the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. And I'm just putting the smallest amount on my fingertips. And I'm going to focus this right in the T-zone of the face, where I'm going to be applying the concealer just to kind of prep the skin. Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Concealer in the shade Light. This is what the concealer looks like, and I'm also going to be mixing it in with a little bit of the shade Fair, which is the lighter shade, focusing that on the under eyes where I need to brighten up a little bit, but taking the shade Light, I'm just going to place a little bit on the chin, a little bit around the nose, right here, bridge of the nose, and then using the other shade, I'm going to highlight underneath the eyes like this, and here, and right here. Okay, so this is the only places that I'm going to focus the product, and we're going to blend it out from here. So as I mentioned before, I've been using the Morphe E8 brush to blend out my concealer. It, to me, does the best job. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just covering up the problem areas that I have because I do typically have pretty good skin. So what I do is I like to just kind of even out the redness. As you can see, everything is completely evened out here. And just try to make my skin all one texture. I mean, not one texture. Try to make my skin all one color and really blend it out. And whatever's left on the back of the brush, I'm just kind of dragging it down a little bit this way. Nothing too crazy. This area. On the bridge of the nose. See how much that highlighted that area and also did a good job to cover it up. This is also a really great work appropriate makeup if you don't want to wear foundation. I work in a restaurant and sometimes wearing foundation is just too much for me. It gets very hot in the back of the kitchen, and this is just so much easier for me because I'm getting the coverage that I want and not feeling the heavy products on my skin. Now, as always, bringing it up around the eyes. As you can see, everything is starting to be highlighted and blending together. Okay, concealer is all set. As you can see, the skin looks a lot smoother, it looks a lot brighter, it looks a lot more balanced, it just looks a lot more presentable than what I had before, and we barely used any product. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start setting the face. To set my under eyes, I'm going to be using my RCMA No Color Powder, as usual. I'm just taking a small fluffy brush, and I'm just going to press that under the eye. From outward inward. Small patting motions from the outward corner to the inner corner is really going to help set that area and prevent any creasing whatsoever. I find that this works so much better than to just set the eyes like this. It just really helps blend everything out and keep it a flawless look. I do have teeny tiny wrinkles under my eyes. I would say wrinkles. I'd say creases, and those are just never going to go away, so that's just inevitable. I'm looking for like a really good serum to use for that, so if you guys have any recommendations, let me know as usual. Okay, the under eye is set. Now to set the rest of the face, I'm going to be using my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and I'm going to focus this in the T-zone area. I'm just using the same brush as I just did, and I'm using this on the chin. Pretty much any of the places that I applied concealer, because these are the areas that I want to stay the most matte. Center of the forehead. Okay. And for the outer portion of my face, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Powder in the shade Warm Light. And this is just going to help to set the rest of this before I apply any bronzer, blushes, or any type of products like that. Just taking a larger powder brush, just working it into the skin like this. And in the temple area. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the eyes. I'm just going to take whatever's leftover powder and just set the eyes down. I'm going to go in with my Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette, which I have been obsessed with. If you didn't see my first impressions of this palette, please go check out that video as well. I think this palette is the perfect size for travel, as I mentioned before. It comes with a little mirror, comes with a brush, and it comes with 5 absolutely stunning shades. Perfect to create a flawless look. Something more intense for nighttime, so you can go from daytime to nighttime with this palette, which I absolutely love. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I just use a simple color in my crease as my transition shade, and I don't really do anything else besides lining my lower lash line and upper lash line just to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to be picking up this shade right here. This is that second shade, and this shade is called, let's get rid of that brush. This shade is called Deserted. I'm just going to take a large fluffy brush, and I'm going to pat at that in there and work that into the crease. This is going to add some dimension to the eye. I'm seriously obsessed with this palette. These colors blend so effortlessly, and they're so creamy. I love them so much. I'm going to take a smaller fluffy brush, and I'm just going to apply that top shade here, the first shade, which is Tea Light, and I'm just going to press this over the lids. Just kind of brighten these back up. Now I'm going to take a smudging brush. This is an Eco Tools brush. It has a blend side and also has a smudge side. So this is the side that I'm going to be using right here. And I'm just going to be taking this darker color, which is called Cherry Wood. And I'm just going to be smudging this on the upper lash line. I particularly like liquid liner in the summer because I tend to get, like, my tears tend to build up over here, and then it starts running down my face. And I try to avoid that as much as possible. So by doing this, by doing something like this, you're creating that shadow and you're creating that dimension without making it look too harsh. Now I'm going to take the fluffy side, and I'm just going to kind of blend those together. I'm picking up a flat definer brush. I'm just going into the same color, and I'm just doing this on the lower lash line. This will give the impression that you're wearing eyeliner, but you're not. So the eyes are pretty much done. Super, super simple look. Move on to bronzer quickly, and bronzer I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Picking up an angled brush, and I'm just going to be working this onto the cheeks. I'm also going to take the bronzer up around the temples. So the face is now bronzed. For blush, I'm using this Wet n Wild Apricot in the middle. I like to keep it super simple and super natural. So this is the perfect shade, and I'm just using my favorite blush brush as usual, the Morphe M530, and applying this to my cheekbones. And for highlight, I'm using the Alexis Ren and ColourPop collaboration, and it looks like this. Comes with a bronzer and a highlight, and I'm going to be using the highlight today. The highlight is called She's Here to Stay, which is super cute. Picking up a fluffy brush, working that in there, and applying this to the cheekbones. Super beautiful gold highlight. A little bit to the tip of the nose. Okay, so that's pretty much the look. I'm just going to fill in my brows really quickly. I'm actually using the Brow Wiz. I am teaching myself to re-love it. I know I've said in previous videos that I couldn't get myself to love it again, but I don't know. It's kind of growing on me. It takes a lot longer for me to do my brows, and I think that's why I didn't really particularly like it. But it does do a good job of filling in sparse areas and being able to get in the front really precisely is good. And as always, I use my NYX cake powder and a small detailed brush to just fill in. Quickly, I'm going to go in with mascara. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. Okay, mascara is on. This look is complete. As you can see, we look pretty put together. We definitely look presentable. It's definitely daytime appropriate, or anywhere that you need to go, it's appropriate. It's work appropriate. I absolutely love this look, and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing much makeup, which is something that I go for. I don't really like a full coverage caked face unless I'm going to an event or like, you know, something like that, like a wedding or whatever the case may be. So I hope you guys like this look. You can also pop on some of your favorite falsies if you are into that. I don't usually wear falsies from a day-to-day basis. You can also pop on a liquid lip. I'm going to use a chapstick because when I go to work, I talk so much that it just starts to wear away on there. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.